In this video, I continue my journey from Morocco to West Africa, leaving the charming town of Essaouira behind and beginning the long journey south to the disputed region of the Western Sahara. The 822-kilometer drive between Essaouira and the city of Laayoune, also known as El Aaiún, would take just over 11 hours through one of Morocco's most sparsely populated areas, passing through the endless expanses of the northern edge of the Sahara Desert. Join me for the adventure of a lifetime as I rub shoulders with UN Peacekeepers, entering one of the world's most contentious regions as I press onward deeper into Africa. This is your guide to traveling from Morocco to the Western Sahara.
Alright, I've made it on time with about 15 minutes to spare, and the Super Tours bus to Agadir is leaving shortly. Bagage ticket. I have a e-ticket.
With my tickets in hand, I was soon on my way south on the regional Super Tours bus from Essaouira to Agadir, the largest city on Morocco's Atlantic coast. From there, I'd switch to a southbound bus towards Western Sahara, planning to break up the journey in the small city of Tiznit, population 90,000, where I'd spend the night to avoid the very real danger of traveling overnight on Moroccan roads. The 186-kilometer ride between Essaouira and Agadir took just over 3 hours, snaking our way along Morocco's rugged coastline and taking in some incredible views of the windswept Atlantic Ocean for almost the entire drive until we safely arrived in the whitewashed, sprawling coastal city of Agadir with a population of just under 1 million.
So after a almost 4-hour bus ride from Essaouira, I've arrived in the Moroccan city of Agadir on the Atlantic coast, basically the Moroccan Riviera. There's tons of resorts in this city. I'm just at the bus station here on the edge of town, so I'm not actually heading into the city myself. I'm going to use the next few hours of the evening to at least shave off some time for tomorrow's long ride to El Aaiún. That's where this trip is going to get a little bit more dicey due to that territorial dispute. All right, I just sat down here inside the Restaurant de la Gare. Got myself an egg burger. This was only less than $5. So like $4.25 Canadian, and a coffee for about $1. So really inexpensive food here, and it looks really good. All right, I had a great dinner, and I have to rush now to catch this bus. It leaves in about 9 minutes, so I should be okay. That is adorable. Little cats playing around. All right, it's going to be a 2.5-hour bus ride to Tiznit, and I'll get there at about 11:30 p.m. It doesn't say Tiznit, but it's probably going somewhere further down the road. All right, I'm pretty excited. We're getting ready to head south officially towards El Aaiún and Mauritania. So this is where the road begins. Really looking forward to this. All right, a full 3.5 hours after leaving Agadir, I've arrived here in Tiznit, and my hotel is just down this street at the roundabout. One of the reasons why I chose to stay here in Tiznit was that it avoided a massive taxi bill in Agadir to get to a hotel and back to the bus station the next day, and then a very long bus ride. This worked out to be much more convenient. So that was a pretty short walk, and I've arrived here at the Hotel Idu Tiznit, where I'm staying overnight, and my bus to El Aaiún leaves at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, so I got exactly 12 hours to veg here before then. So really fancy lobby here at the Hotel Idu Tiznit. I am off now to the bus terminal. It leaves in about 12 minutes, 11 minutes. But I should be okay. It's only about a half block away. I think the bus is waiting there, so I really highly doubt they'll leave without me. But this is Tiznit, Morocco, about 3 hours south of Agadir. Not that far though, only about 90 kilometers. Just very slow to get out of that city for whatever reason. A lot of traffic. And at night, I think they go a little bit slower on those highways. So I guess the bus is running a little bit late today. He says he stopped up at the truck stop for lunch, I guess. So be here in a few minutes. but at least I'm not late, so that's good. So it's going to be about a 9 to 9.5 hour trip down to the Western Sahara / southern Morocco city of Laayoune. And I should get there at about 9 p.m. if all things go according to plan. There's going to be a few check stops along the way and police guard posts, of course, just because it is such a volatile area. So I expect the worst of those is going to be the one getting into that disputed territory of Western Sahara just before we reach Laayoune. And there's reports of some travelers getting turned around if you're an independent traveler like myself, but hopefully that's not the case today. I'd hate to resort to flying if I have to, so I'd like to complete this trip overland, so let's see what happens, I guess, but a little bit nerve-wracking. All right, so I made it through the first 90 minutes or so of this ride. Long, very long, 9.5 hour ride down to Laayoune. It's getting more mountainous and rugged as we travel south, so it's been nice, but still a long way ahead of us. So the next town is Guelmim, and then we're going to pass through the towns of Tantan and Tarfaya before getting to Laayoune at about 9 o'clock in the evening. Police checkpoints notwithstanding, so we'll see how long those take. So we're quite inland right now, but eventually here, in a couple hours, the road will veer towards the Atlantic coast once again, and we'll be traveling along the Atlantic for a good portion of today. All right, 2 hours later, we're arriving here in Guelmim, which is one of the regional centers here. Definitely starting to feel more like the Sahara. It's really getting empty. There's a few mountains on the horizon, but getting flatter, I think. So we're just about maybe 10 or 15 kilometers north of Tantan. We're getting pretty close to the halfway point here, so clipping along. I did notice 2 camels out in the distance. I missed getting my camera ready in time. I got them on my DSLR, but not on this video camera at least. But there are camels out here in the desert, so wild. 308 kilometers to Laayoune. And this bus is pretty empty now. Pretty much all empty. Most people were going to Tantan, I guess. That's about it. I don't think there's many stops after this, so this could be it for now. Well, the cities are starting to look a little bit Mad Max-ish at this point. Poverty is increasing as we're going south for sure. And there's the ocean once again. Looks like some huge projects out here. I don't know what they're doing. This is really off the grid now. Lots of rugged coastline. I thought the sand would be just jutted up against the ocean, but massive cliffs in this part of Africa, as you can see. Huge. So it has been about 5.5 hours, maybe 5 hours since leaving Tiznit, and we've arrived here in the small little town of Akhfennir, Morocco. This is a seaside town at the very, I guess, southern part of the non-disputed region. Kind of worse for wear in some parts, but beautiful coastline, rolling waves coming in. Pretty close to the Canary Islands, where we're situated right now. Small little village. We're only here for, who knows, about 20 minutes. Get a bite to eat, stretch our legs and relax and get a drink, go to the washroom. And then it's down south, about 3 more hours to the city of Laayoune, sometimes called Laayoune, depending on your pronunciation or the origin. But absolutely stunning seaside location here. So I definitely enjoyed the bus ride so far. The bus is pretty empty, so it's actually not cramped whatsoever. I'm able to stretch out, get some work done. And yeah, it's really comfortable. CTM Bus Lines and Super Tours, those are the best companies here in Morocco, and they're gonna take care of you pretty well. There's no outlets or anything, which, you know, that sucks, but I do have a power bank, so that's okay. But anyway, I'm gonna go get a bite to eat and a drink and board this bus for the last little bit into Laayoune. So I'm just on the side of the highway here in Akhfennir. Is it Akhfennir? Akhfennir. And I'm getting a espresso. He's got a espresso cafe au lait made for me on the side of the highway here in the middle of the Sahara Desert. So, wow. Merci beaucoup. That's incredible. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. So that was pretty wild to find this here. I had no idea you could get a real latte in a really small town. I'm gonna try this out. Oh man, that's like top quality. He knows what he's doing. And I mean, this is the middle of nowhere. I'm in the edge of the Sahara Desert, just north of Laayoune, and man, this is crazy. This is better coffee than I had in Marrakesh, so go figure. I did not expect that. And there it is, folks. We are now into the Sahara Desert. Very cool. And Fuerteventura is right across, so check out that vlog if you haven't seen that already from my Canary Island series. Very similar terrain in Fuerteventura, obviously. It's only 100 kilometers away. All right, folks, we are coming up right at it now, crossing the line into the Western Sahara. This is going to be wild, folks. Getting a bit nervous now, but I shouldn't be. That's silly.
Controlled by Spain until 1975, the former colony of Spanish Sahara has been in political upheaval ever since. Originally split between Morocco and Mauritania following decolonization, Mauritania withdrew its claims over the southern Rio de Oro region after its war with Morocco, leaving what is today the region of Western Sahara in Moroccan hands. Since then, the country has been in an ongoing conflict with the Polisario Front, the Sahrawi Arab nationalist separatist movement that brands themselves the SADR, or the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. Since the early 1980s, peace has been maintained in Western Sahara with the help of UN peacekeepers, as well as a Moroccan fortification known as the Berm, with Morocco holding de facto rule over most of the territory west of the Berm, with only small pockets east and south of the Berm under SADR control. The question of Western Sahara's sovereignty is contentious, with only the United States and Israel recognizing Morocco's ownership, and a total of 46 UN member states recognizing the SADR's ownership. Clearly, the question of who should control Western Sahara will not be answered anytime soon. Whatever you do, if you do decide to make the trip through Western Sahara, do not express any political opinions during your trip, and cooperate with Moroccan authorities at the multiple check stops along the route. One thing you absolutely need when completing this journey are photocopies of your passport information page, called fiche in Morocco, which will be collected at every checkpoint. If you do not have these, you may be turned away. I suggest making at least 20 copies for this purpose, as the checkpoints are numerous. However, don't feel paranoid. I felt completely safe in the Western Sahara and encountered zero issues apart from the ongoing police checks. That said, this is definitely not a journey for everyone.
All right, we just crossed the line into disputed territory now. And the sun is beginning to set, but we are actually making good time today. I think we're going to get there about an hour early, so not bad. There has actually only been 3 check stops en route, so probably one more before we get into Laayoune. We should be there within less than an hour, I'd say, at this point. I'll get checked in at my hotel, which is 4 stars, it says, so high expectations. We'll see how that turns out. Just an endless sea of sand at this point. All right, we just arrived here in Laayoune. Got myself a taxi. So I headed to my hotel downtown. They quoted me 10 dirhams or so. Pretty inexpensive for the shared taxi. All right, it was a short taxi ride, but I'm here at the Al Masira Hotel where I'm staying, right here in the heart of downtown Laayoune, or Laayoune. It is very developed here. I'm actually surprised at just how many brand names there are. There's a McDonald's and there's allegedly a Starbucks, though I read online it's likely a franchise infringement. In any case, heading to the hotel. Cool little city so far, though. It doesn't feel unsafe in the slightest, so kind of neat. So I guess the only downside to this room is that it does smell a little bit of cigarette smoke. I'm not a smoker myself, so it is what it is, I guess. I've not really encountered any smoky rooms, but this definitely smells like a motel in the United States. So whatever, I suppose. I'll live. I don't know if I'll stay 2 nights. Probably will, but still, it's kind of a stinky room. That's up to you to decide for yourself, but for me, I'm going to leave that alone. It's not necessarily my business to be calling the shots on, what is and what isn't a country. I'll leave it to them to decide that. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just exploring this part of Africa, hoping for safety along the way until I get to Mauritania early next week.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified when new episodes are posted. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.